It's very important to love yourself without hurting others and loving others without hurting yourself. If you think of this, it means that you need to set boundaries. A lot of the times we start giving so much of ourselves to others, we don't have anything left in us. And we keep working for others at the cost of ourselves. And that is not something which will be very sustainable in the long run. You also need to rejuvenate yourself, you need to take care of yourself. If you do not do that, the love that you're giving slowly and slowly starts feeling very exhausting. So you need to love others without hurting yourself, and always love yourself without hurting others. That is a boundary you need to remember. Once you realize, once you understand that, okay, I think I'm feeling bad, I should not do anything which I will regret later. I should not be taking decisions, because right now the decision I take will be affected by my bad mood. And this bad mood is not permanent. Tomorrow I will feel better. So that is the being aware of yourself, being conscious of what is going on in your head. And related to that is that you need to calm the chaos in your head. Once you calm the turbulence inside your head, the world becomes a very happy place. The turbulence is not outside, it's always inside. And that is what we then project through our actions onto others. Try and think of a situation where you feel that maybe you were angry with this person when this person did not deserve that. Why did that happen? Because you were in a negative mood and you were not able to control your reaction. And the anger, which was because of some other thing, has gone on to somebody else.
So, what is that one thing you feel that while growing up, if you knew this thing, it would have been different for you? Maybe growing up during your teens.
I wish I had listened more to my parents.
Okay.
I could have saved myself a lot of trouble if I had just listened to them, what they were saying. Because especially when we are teens and when we are growing up, we have such, that sense of independence is so strong and so powerful. And especially, I don't know for what reason, but at that age, we always believe our friends and our peers much more than our parents. I don't know why that happens, where it comes from, but it's there. And it was yesterday, it is today, it will be there tomorrow also. So, because I realized, once I grew up, I became a little mature, I realized I wrote down about all the situations where I had listened to my parents, where I had not listened to my parents. So I knew. So I think even my parents will now say that, now she listens to us more than what she used to earlier. Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing, to make your choices always, always. Never let somebody else be responsible for the choices you're making.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Pleasant good evening. Good evening. So once again, pleasant good evening. How is your evening? How is your evening? Fine? Good? So far, so good? Right. So every Sunday evening talk gives you more boost, refreshing feeling, and so many tips and techniques to deal with whole week's tension, stress, and empowering the self with lot of insights for next week also. You all feel that way? Yeah. So today is a very special day. Any one of you have come for the first time for the Sunday evening talk? Okay. Acha. Okay. So special welcome to you. You came with the special attraction of the speaker? Yeah? Yeah. So as you might be knowing about Brahma Kumaris, it's a socio-spiritual organization where we practice and teach others also the meditation and moral values which are important in our day-to-day lives, because all of us going through a very stressful time because the environment is like that. So every day we experience lot of tension, stress, and lots of relationship problems or commitments towards the work, deadlines, so many things takes our happiness away many times. Yeah. And these spiritual insights will give you a lot of strength to deal with all these problems on a regular basis. So, Shanti Sarovar is a retreat center of Brahma Kumaris, which is South India's largest retreat place, where we organize many kinds of programs like government programs or corporate programs, different retreats to empower the self, and especially focusing on the mind, meditation, which will give direction for our life, especially for the youths also, or where we are located, the IT hub, lots of tension. So, how to deal with all these things, that is what we mainly focus, the spiritual application of the things. So, we learn so many things in the management, but the spiritual application is missing many times. So, in these spiritual sessions, we give you a lot of stuff which is filled with spiritual application also. So, special welcome to you for this program. And what is today's topic? How many of you able to see the flyer? Success mantras. So, everyone is interested to know success mantras? Yes? Everyone is successful in life? Yeah, all of us are very successful. But to become more successful, most successful, and to stay in that level, because once to reach that position, being successful is okay. But to remain there for longer period, it takes lot of our strength, inner strength. So in this series of program, the success mantras from the life story of today's guest is Mrs. Ritiraj Singh. So today we are going to learn how Mrs. Ritiraj ji has applied the so many things, spiritual commitments, which makes her as a very young dynamic officer. So with round of applause, we welcome Mrs. Ritiraj ji onto the stage to share the success mantras with all of us. So Brahma Kumari sisters, welcome with a bouquet. So she herself is a flower and the flowers are given to her. So how many of you know her? Might be seen her in the media, and yeah, I know. Because she is very, very active in social media also, and even with the people-centric things, we know her, we heard of her, maybe not seen her personally, but this is the chance to meet her, and she is very young, very dynamic women police officer. Usually when we think of police officer, usually we think of a women. Acha, that is good. So male personality comes in front of her, in front of us. But today we are going to meet a very, very special personality with her charm, with her work life, with her commitment towards the values, with her commitment towards the work. She become very successful in her life. And with that success, she helping serving the society. And we know her since some 4 years or so when she was working in Cyberabad Police Commissionerate. First time when we went to see her, that was Rakhi time. She was posted very young to that office, and she was still that time also very fresh, energetic, and lots of energy to do seva, not only work. It is seva bhav, है ना, सेवा भाव ही हमको आगे ले जाता है. तो वो कमिटमेंट हमने उस समय देखा, एंड देन विथ डिफरेंट पोजीशंस शी ऑक्यूपाइड. एंड व्हेन वी स्पोक टू हर लास्ट टाइम, दैट वाज January 1st, when we went to greet her for New Year wishes, when we went to her, that time she was DCP of Madhapur zone. And that time we requested her that she must come and share her life story in front of all of us, which will inspire all ourselves also, especially the youngsters who need lots of direction. Yes? Yes? Because lots of confusion. Uh, and sometimes we are just stuck what to do. So the inspiring personalities like her or her experience will give a lot of insights to all of us. So when we expressed our wish towards the Sunday evening talk, she very gracefully accepted, and immediately we fixed the date of 11th of January. And then, yeah, and then 3 days before, she was posted to Kukatpalli zone. But still she was so committed that still I will come and conduct the talk, because she loves being very inspirational and share the same inspiration too with everyone. So she is currently serves as the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Kukatpalli, Cyberabad. From January 8th or 9th, she posted there. A 2018 batch officer of the Telangana cadre, her leadership is characterized by a balance of professional grit and empathetic, people-centric policing. Yeah? So that's why we all are very safe, because Cyberabad is lots of crime also is happening, of course, behind the back, but we are still happy, we are safe. That means because of the police officers like you, ma'am. We are very, very proud to have you. And she advocates for a listen first approach, emphasizing the importance of understanding both sides of a story and managing emotions to ensure fair and impactful actions. And previously, she served in influential roles, including Joint Director of the Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, and DCP South Zone, Hyderabad also. Regularly, she engages, no? Acha, okay. Sure. Regularly, she engages with educational institutions to inspire students with the themes of leadership, service, and discipline. So, very active officer in front of us. We don't feel like officer. We feel our own sister is here. Yeah, she has come to our own home. So let's listen from her the deep secrets of her success story. So, yes, ma'am.
A very good evening to all of you. I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Ritiraj. I'm 2018 batch IPS officer of Telangana cadre. So as ma'am was just saying, earlier I've been posted in different positions. First, I was posted as DCP Cybercrimes in Cyberabad. After that, SP of Gadwal district. After that, Joint Director in Anti-Corruption Bureau. Then DCP Madhapur. And now recently, again, I've been transferred as DCP Kukatpalli zone. So here, when they told me to come and speak to all of you, initially I thought that, when you think of success mantras, there are no mantras actually. Whatever you need to do to be successful, everybody knows. It's all about whether you are willing to pay the price for it or not. Everybody wants to be successful, but everybody knows a lot of hard work is there. Whether you're willing to pay the price for that, that is a decision you have to take. Once you take that decision, there is no going back. People who are successful in life are not those who are born different. They are those who persevere and who do not remain down once they have fallen down. If they fall down, they have the courage to get back up. Because life will throw a lot of things at you, and that is how you're getting tested. So every time that you get back up, a new layer of your character comes above, and you're able to identify that part of yourself. So I have a few things, few points, so when they mentioned that I have to speak properly, and at least things which I have learned in my life, things which I have learned from the experiences in my life, the people I have met in my life, and the books that I have read. Because I believe these are the three main things from which you learn, and they build up your character. So I will just start with those things. So the first thing that I want to tell you is, it's very important to love yourself without hurting others and loving others without hurting yourself. If you think of this, it means that you need to set boundaries. A lot of the times we start giving so much of ourselves to others, we don't have anything left in us. And we keep working for others at the cost of ourselves. And that is not something which will be very sustainable in the long run. You also need to rejuvenate yourself, you need to take care of yourself. If you do not do that, the love that you are giving slowly and slowly starts feeling very exhausting. So you need to love others without hurting yourself, and always love yourself without hurting others. That is a boundary you need to remember. Second thing which has always helped me is it's not about you. How to deal with the everyday situations. If my boss scolds me, or if I'm in college and my faculty scolds me, 99% chance it's really not about me. Maybe they've had a bad day. Maybe they've just had a bad breakfast. 99% of the times it's not about me. If we think like that, most of the things, we end up having fights with our friends, or we feel bad. How could she speak to me like that? How could he speak to me like that? Don't they respect me? I'm an elder and I deserve that position. How could they, Mostly it will be words which affect us a lot. So in that moment, when you feel the way that person has behaved with you, high chances it's not because of you, it's because of what they are dealing in their own lives. This will really help you get out of that situation very immediately. You won't be hurt for a long time. Third thing is define yourself, identify yourself, actually understand the kind of person you are. So, how I identify myself is I'm not someone who will do wrong by you even when you are not in power. So, in our everyday relationships, be it with our parents, partners, friends, relatives, professional relationships, there's always an equation of power. Somebody will be more powerful, somebody will be lesser powerful. And today, the person in front of you may be powerful, tomorrow they won't be. The power equation may change. So I have chosen to identify myself as a person that I will not do wrong by you, even when you're not in power. Even then, I will ensure that I am fair in my dealing with you. So you need to define yourself. And once we understand ourselves, then we are able to deal with others, deal with the people in life, situation in life, and circumstances in life. So it's extremely important to understand the kind of person you are or you want to become. Next is something that I've recently realized. We tend to live inside our heads. We always live inside our heads. I think the world is black and white, and it is given color by the perspective we have in our heads. Because the same world appears hopeless and tragic to one person, but it seems extremely beautiful to another person. So it's not the world, it's you. So when you understand that, you are in power of how you feel. And once you know you have that power over yourself, then you can use that to see certain situations. You can choose to get out of feeling bad when you know you have the power. Nobody else has the power to make you feel bad. It's only you. You have that power in your hand. And we must understand that we always get what we look for. You might think, if you start your day with a negative mindset, a lot of little things will happen which will keep worsening your mood. That day your maid will not come, that day you will not have a good breakfast, that day you will miss the bus, that day maybe an ink stain will be there on your uniform dress or on your dress, and you will be punching in late to your office, or some small things will happen, and the day will feel like it's going down a vicious circle, and it's making more things are happening which are making you feel bad, and then you are again feeling more bad, and more things are happening to worsen that situation. So you will go down that line. So when you realize that, okay, whatever I'm thinking, that is what's happening, so you know that you have to change your thought process. Now, it's not something that can be done in a day. It's something that takes conscious efforts. If I'm feeling bad, it will be impractical of me to say that, okay, no, I'm feeling bad, I should not feel bad, now I will feel better. It's not that easy, it's not practical, that's not how it happens. But once you realize, once you understand that, okay, I think I'm feeling bad, I should not do anything which I will regret later. I should not be taking decisions, because right now the decision I take will be affected by my bad mood. And this bad mood is not permanent. Tomorrow I will feel better. So that is the being aware of yourself, being conscious of what is going on in your head. And related to that is that you need to calm the chaos in your head. Once you calm the turbulence inside your head, the world becomes a very happy place. The turbulence is not outside, it's always inside. And that is what we then project through our actions onto others. Try and think of a situation where you feel that maybe you were angry with this person when this person did not deserve that. Why did that happen? Because you were in a negative mood and you were not able to control your reaction. And the anger, which was because of some other thing, has gone on to somebody else. A lot of the times it will happen that, I might be dealing, so taking an example from my profession, I might be dealing with some very complicated case, and one junior will come and tell that this and this mistake has happened. Now, because I have been dealing with a difficult situation for the last 4 or 5 hours, that small mistake will also seem very big. And because in that complicated situation, I was dealing with seniors, I could not express my anger on them. Where is all that anger going to go now? On this junior. Now I know that is unfair. So how I have developed myself is, as I have started realizing, now I try to control back. If I know that I'm already in a disturbed mood, I will choose not to speak when somebody is telling me something which might again worsen my mood or my negative mindset. I will just tell the person, okay, this, that, you can leave, I will get back to you later. Simple. You understand, you take a pause and you step back. That is how, now again, it's not possible to do this every single time. But we are human beings, we try, right? If not every time, at least 50% of the situations, you can try. And then you will see the difference. Another thing that I have learned is attachment, ego, and expectations. Attachment, ego, and expectations. They kill you faster than any other thing possible. The day you just understand, try to think of, if you are unhappy about something in your life, where is that stemming from? I can promise you it must, at least 90% of your problems would be arising out of these three things: attachment, ego, or expectations. You expected something, it did not happen. You expected something out of another person, maybe your spouse, maybe your child, maybe your relative, maybe your senior, and it did not happen. Attachment. You were so attached to somebody or to a certain situation, when the result did not come as you expected, it again upset you. Your ego. Now, when we talk about ego, ego is a very, very fragile thing. Ego is simply that I expect to be dealt with in a particular way, and you are dealing with me in a different way. So, if you're dealing with me in a different way, my ego gets hurt, right? So, attachment, ego, and expectations. Please be wary of these three things. Never let these three things come in between you and your relationships. Relationships are much more important. When you let go of your ego, you earn people, you earn relationships, and that is magical. Because your life is beautiful when it's filled with people who love you and who you love. So the moment you let go of your ego, this is something which comes in. Now, when we think of it properly, like the speaker before me was also mentioning, our souls are all connected deep down. But at the same time, each one of us is unique. Okay? All of us are unique in our own ways, but deep down, we are all connected and we are all the same soul. When you think of it, it's almost like our commonality as well as our uniqueness. Both are our strengths. we need to understand how to use our commonality and our strengths in different situations to strengthen the bonds that we have with others. If there is a difference, a situation which you are facing which is difficult and you don't know how to get out of it, and you feel either you are hurting the person in front of you or you are feeling hurt, in that situation, you need to understand, is it your commonality that is something that can help you? Or is it your uniqueness which you bring to the table that is going to help you diffuse this situation? When you are able to discern this, you are able to salvage your relationship, and you go away peacefully, and the person also goes away peacefully from that difficult situation. Now, when you talk about success mantras, right, there is no shortcut to success. There is absolutely no shortcut to success. You have to persevere, toil, and overcome all the hurdles that you're facing. Every time you try to go around it, you will face another obstacle. There's only so far that you can go by trying to avoid your problems. It's a long journey you have to make if you want to be successful. So every time you try to maneuver your way through the problems, it'll become a very slow journey, and probably you won't reach where you want to. So you have to face, and always believe that whatever life brings you, it's coming in your life because you are capable of handling it. First, have this confidence. Whatever the situation is, it's coming to you, though the Almighty sends it to you because you are capable of handling it. And it's more like a test for you to overcome. And when you overcome, you will, as I said earlier, you will discover another part of yourself, something which is strong, something which is resilient, and it will build your character. Because someone very rightly said, you can either have an easy life or you can have a great character. You can't have both. So you have to choose. And it's okay with whatever you choose. If you choose an easy life, then be ready to face the consequences of an easy life. But if you choose a great character, then again, be ready to face the consequences of what a great character means. If everything was given to me, if everything was very easily accessible to me, if I did not have to work hard for anything in life, what kind of a life is that? Right? I think I'm a humble enough person, but still I do think I have come across a lot of hurdles in my life personally, especially if I think about my IPS training. Now, why they train us? So if I talk about my training, they make us run for 16 kilometers and then they mark us. You have to finish it in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. They make us do a marathon for 40 kilometers with 15 kg weight. Now, why are they making this happen to us? Why are they doing this to us? In my daily life, I don't need to walk for 40 kilometers in the sun. I don't need to carry a 15 kg bag for 6 hours. But they're doing it to develop my resilience. Again, it's a difficult situation. If I survive, if I overcome this difficult situation, I become prepared, mentally ready to face another difficult situation. So the more difficult situations you face in life, the more prepared you become to face anything that can happen to you or to people around you, right? So if you see problems like that, problems are nothing but situations which are there to test you. If you overcome that, great. If you are not able to overcome that, that means there is something in your character which you still have to work on, which you still have to develop. So problem is just a situation which are there to be as your lessons. Think of problems in your life that way. The moment you call it a problem, if you call a situation a problem, it brings a negative connotation. And then you will feel more anxious about it. How do I deal with this problem? There's such a big problem. How do I get out of it? It is just a situation. And you have to figure your way through it and be confident, have belief in yourself that you can overcome that. when you try to overcome situations in your life, two things are very crucial: faith and patience. Faith means having the belief that you are capable of anything. No matter what comes in your life, you will be able to go beyond that. And patience is when you know that this is not the right time for something, the right time will come in some time. The combination of having faith and patience is a very deadly combination. And that combination is something which will take you very far. And it applies not just to students and children, it applies to adults. Everything that I'm saying here, it applies to everyone. So my request to parents is, if they feel that I'm saying something which is useful for their children, please understand it's extremely useful for you as well. Even as adults, in every stage of life, these are things that we need to remember. Now, all your choices, when we think about choices, a lot of the times when somebody asks you, why did you do something? We'll say, oh, my parents told me to do this. Oh, my friends told me to do this. Please remember, all your choices in your life should be by you. If you choose because of somebody else, you're not just ruining your life, you're ruining theirs. Because every time you will have somebody to blame. I did it because she told me to. I did it because he told me to. And this life of blaming, it's not serving you, it's not serving the other person. So make sure that you make the choices yourself, because you have to live with the consequences of your choices and live with the consequences of your actions. Nobody else will. It's your life, it's your journey. Everybody will be there to support you. Nobody else can walk in your shoes. It's only you. We might have a very strong support system, but that's all ancillary. The main character in the drama is you, right? Nobody else can deal with what you are dealing, okay? Now, one thing I want to talk about is negativity. Negativity is a slow poison. First, it makes you withdraw from the world. Then, it makes you criticize those who are trying to actually make it a better place. This sucks out love and joy from your life until all that remains inside of you is toxicity. This makes you bitter, and the resentment keeps building inside of you until it pushes away those who love you, and then you become truly lost. The only way to find yourself is to begin to love again, appreciate again, and invite happiness and joy again in your life. Be generous with your love, with your happiness, and your positivity. It does not cost anything, maybe a little bit of your ego. But see, if you let out your ego, it is bringing in something so magical. Now, there's something very personal that I want to share. It is a recent learning. I used to feel conscious about, junior officers sometimes not addressing me as ma'am. So the profession that I come from, we are very hierarchical in nature. If you do not address your seniors as sir and ma'am, it can be taken very negatively. Now, that is what I had seen growing up in the service. So when I was not addressed, I used to feel offended. Why is the person not doing that? And I used to feel very conscious whether I was being given the protocol and respect deserving of my stature and my post. Now, what did this do to my mind? This thought process made me so defensive and anxious in the gatherings, in formal gatherings, so competitive for the formal respect, that I forgot to see people as people. I started categorizing them as senior, junior, senior, junior. Now, I became so protective of my ego that I let go of all the possibilities of developing deep relationships and bonds with the people in my profession. Now, the day I learned to give that up, to give up that ego, is when I earned people and relationships in my life. I'm proud to say that now I don't see people as seniors and juniors. I have a team who I love and who have done nothing but given their best when working with me. This is what you can create when you let go of your ego. It's difficult and painful. It does not come in one day. All you've got to do is try. And what lies beyond that is something truly magical. There's a personal experience, and I thought I would share it with you. Another thing is, we always try to control the situations around us, what's happening around us, how other people are dealing with us. Now, we can never choose what happens to us. We can only choose how we respond to it, and that makes all the difference. For example, if I know I'm already in a bad mood, or if I feel that, I'm busy with something and I see my phone ringing. Now that phone ringing is clearly a disturbance for me. So I can choose to not pick it up in that moment. I can choose to delay it with maybe, at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes when I'm in that mindset to deal with that call. Otherwise, what would I generally do? I would pick up that call, get annoyed at the person for calling me and disturbing me. Who is that serving? It's not serving me. It's not helping the person who called me for help. And it's putting him or her also in a bad mood. So understand when and how you can respond to people who are approaching you. If you feel exhausted, if you're already tired, if you don't have the bandwidth to deal with somebody, please accept that and communicate that. I'm really sorry, I know your issue is urgent, but I will not be able to help you right now. Or you can choose to stay silent and move away from that situation, that person. Believe me, slowly, if you continue doing this, it will help you. Now, when I say that our reaction matters more, our response matters more exactly, then reaction implies, what's the difference between reaction and response? Response feels like it is something which is more calculated, more thought through. Reaction is something immediate. Reaction comes from chemical reaction. Generally, that's what we see. So chemical reaction is two chemicals interact and immediate. There's no time lapse. It's something immediate. So reaction implies lack of thinking and logic. But we have to remember that we are rational people. So all we have to do is try and increase our tolerance so that less and less things trigger us and disturb our equanimity. The more strengthened our rationality becomes, the more it survives increasingly difficult situations. So, how we strive to save our ego, protect our ego, instead we should be trying to protect our rationality. Even in the most difficult of situations, try to protect that. Try to preserve that so that you are capable of responding to a situation and not reacting. Because that's the only thing in your control, how you respond to a situation, not what's happening to you. Now, these days we hear a lot of points about stress, that, don't get stressed, do some stress management. What is stress exactly? How I understand it is that stress is when you try to control the outcome of a situation over which you actually don't have any control. Now imagine you are putting a potato in a chip processor. You don't know the shape of the knife in the processor. You have no control over the shape of the chips that are going to come out of the processor. But still you want it to come out a certain way. If you do not control the knife, which is creating the chip, how can you ensure that the chip comes round only? It's insane, right? It does not make sense. It's illogical. So that is stress, trying to control something over which we have no control. Now, as I said earlier, I have no control over the kind of life my boss or my faculty or my senior is leading. But I expect them to be nice to me all day, to be good to me all day, and to always appreciate me, encourage me, and be kind to me. That's not possible, right? And I cannot control and dictate their actions. What I can do is, even if they're angry with me, I can ensure that I am doing my work sincerely, honestly, diligently, so that once their bad phase is over, they will be able to recognize my work, right? That is how you can dissociate yourself from their mood. Instead of being affected by somebody else's bad mood, you can dissociate yourself from that. Now, a lot of people are these days, thirsty for validation. They want to do things which others will appreciate. And they feel good about themselves only when 100 others are appreciating them. Social media is nothing but all about that, how many likes your video is getting, your pictures are getting, how many comments, nice comments you're getting. A lot of bad comments, and you start feeling like the whole world is coming down on you. You start feeling horrible about yourself. But you're the same person, right? When you put up one picture, you got a lot of good likes and good comments. When you, the same person, puts up another picture, you get a lot of bad comments. You haven't changed, right? So when you know that, why are you thirsty for validation? Because you have to understand that validation is something very toxic. It pushes and pulls you down and controls your behavior. It does not let you grow and explore the possibilities. It makes you conform to what others think is right and proper. Be someone who does not thirst for validation, who does not define their worth as per what others see them as. You are loved for whoever you are. You don't have to try and pretend to be like somebody else. As I said earlier, right? Each one of us is unique. We bring something different to the table. You lose that and try to become a photocopy of somebody already there. That does not have a lot of value. You being your unique self has. So trust yourself and embark on the journey to truly know yourself. I sincerely believe that the more and more you know yourself, the closer you get towards divinity. Because that's all the soul is about, right? We believe that each one of us is connected through our souls, it's the same soul, and we have a part of divinity inside us. We just have to explore inside and understand that it's there and connect to that. And that brings you all the peace and courage and strength to deal with this outer world. Now, a lot of us believe that, it's my partner's job to keep me happy, it's my children's job to keep me happy, or it's my junior's job to keep me happy. It's nobody's job to keep you happy. It's only your and your job. And believe me, it's a 24/7 work. It's very difficult to remain happy, to be in a positive mindset. It's a very difficult work. Imagine being in charge of somebody else's happiness. It's an exhausting thing. So why put the burden on somebody else? Why be a victim of somebody else's actions when you can take control with yourself and be in charge of your happiness? Another thing I want to talk about is the power of manifestation. So when I was a child, my parents used to watch a show called Rendezvous with Simi Garewal. I'm not sure if all of you know about that. So it was basically a talk show where there was an actress, Simi Garewal, and she used to call a lot of actors and important people from the different fields of business and politics, and she used to talk to them. Now, I remember being a kid, after watching the show, I used to imagine myself growing up to have her grace, her easy laughter, and her beautiful smile. And I used to hold imaginary conversations inside my 10-year-old head with very important people and feel very important. So it's funny for a 10-year-old child. But today, because of the position that I'm in, I do hold important conversations with important people, and I am somebody important. So I personally believe it's a power of my manifestation. Somebody asks me, where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? I can't tell them where I see myself. I know the kind of person I want to be. I know the values that I want to project. I know the values I want to lead my life by. And I know the kind of person I want to become. If you have that clarity, everything will fall in place and things will happen to guide you in the correct direction, the direction which you're meant to be in. Now, in my profession, so a little bit about myself. So I completed my class 12th, and so when I was a student in class 10th, I remember we had to choose, right? You choose a subject, either medicine or engineering or something. And the reason why I am here today is because of my parents. My parents always let me make my own choices. In fact, my father clearly told me that, beta, till now I have taught you chemistry. You are least interested in that. I know science is not something you're interested in. So don't bother with what your friends are choosing and what your relatives are telling you. You choose the subject which you feel is nice and it's interesting. Because my parents always believe that it does not make sense that you put 100% of your effort and get 80% result. It makes more sense when you put 80% of your effort and get 100% result. Choose that, something that you enjoy doing. So because of the freedom that I got from them, I chose commerce. I chose commerce plus maths. Now again, this is something which my mother clearly told me that, irrespective of whatever the requirements are of Delhi University and other colleges, if you do not like maths, please do not choose it. Now, just to clarify, I did not like these subjects, but I wasn't exactly bad at them. I got very good marks. I got a 98 in science. I got a 98 in math, but I was just not interested. I used to get a headache when I would study those subjects. So, but I still chose. And even in 11th, 12th, again, I knew that, maybe commerce is not my cup of tea. This is not something I'm interested in. It does not drive me, does not make me want to come sit on my study chair and read those books. So again, my parents told me that, is there something else that you want to do? Then we found about something called law. Then my parents ensured that I go to a law coaching center and understand what the field is about, what the exam is about, the entrance exam. And I realized I really liked it. I liked being in that class, and I would want to study instead of watching cartoons on TV or movies or playing outside. I would want to study those things. So I realized this is something I like and I want to continue. Now, there again, I was fortunate that I could clear the exam and I got into a good college. Now, why I'm telling you all this is, every step of the way, I made my own choices. My parents only guided me. And I also was able to make my choices because my parents gave me this freedom. Right? Again, once I was in a law college, the packages there are amazing. Like when I was in 2016, I was graduating, I was getting a package of 18 lakh per month back in 2016. But again, my parents asked me, is this something that you really want to do? And I realized that that was not something that actually attracted me. I wanted to work with the people. I wanted to work for my country. I wanted to do something which would make at least one person's life a little better. Because I was always a very fortunate person. I got all the good possibilities, all the good opportunities. I had a very wonderful, I was not lacking of anything. Good parents, solid financial situation, no issue, no domestic issues, anything. And decently good student, no health issues, nothing. So I always felt that I was privileged and I wanted to work where I would get an opportunity to make a difference. That is again something which I realized and I made that choice. And today I'm proud to say that the profession finally which I have come in, now every day is not good, right? I might be dealing with very difficult situations one day, another day it might be something very nice, but I know this is a decision I have taken. So every night that I go off to sleep, I know whatever happened today, it happened because of me, my choices, and if I have chosen this, I can get through it. I don't need anybody's support to get through it. If I have it, very good. But if I don't have it, it's okay. I will manage because I chose this. It's my responsibility. Right? Now, one very important skill that I learned was to respectfully isolate myself from something that did not serve me, instead of getting consumed by it and then later develop hatred towards it. Now, if I'm in a situation, suppose I have a friend, and I remember in college, there used to be certain things, and I would not like the way something was panning out, and I would get involved, and I would tell the person, I did not like how you spoke to me, and then it would develop into a confrontation, and it would sour the relationship. Now, what do? If I don't like what's happening around, I will respectfully put my point of opinion and walk away. The more you get involved in a confrontation, the more serious it becomes, and nothing good comes out of it. Absolutely nothing. So I learned to walk away. Now, this is something that I have learned till now, that isolating myself from something that does not serve me. Does not serve me means it's not helping me in any way. It's not adding to my happiness, it's not adding to my knowledge, it's not adding to my intellect, it's not adding to anything good in my life. This is what I have learned. What I aim to learn is something even more powerful. It is learning to take away the power of words that do not serve you. It makes those words completely meaningless, and you don't have to spend your energy in isolating yourself from that situation. Because you've become so powerful, your shield is so strong that whatever negativity is coming in, the words are just meaningless. They do not make sense as per your dictionary. As simple as that. So you don't have to spend any energy in engaging with that. Now, one last thing that I want to say is, and it applies to every student, every person in any stage of their life, whether you believe you can or you believe you cannot, either way, you are right. Think about this. If you believe you can or you believe you cannot, either way, it's right. What you believe will happen. That is the power of your thoughts, that's the power of your belief. And one thing I want all of you to remember are famous lines from a poem called Invictus by William Ernest Henley. The words are, I am the master of my ship, I am the captain of my soul. So I really hope that these points that I have told you, now these are again learnings that I have learned from the people in my life, my experiences and the books that I've read. So I really hope that these will come of at least some use to you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe 10 days later, 1 month later, you will be in a situation where you will suddenly remember, oh, maybe I can try and use that. Right? So that's all I have to say. And I would love if there are any questions or anything that you want to ask about. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, hi, and thank you for this wonderful session. I don't know, for some reason, whenever I feel that I'm here, even the last session, it was so, it's so magical, or I don't know whether it's just my belief system that whenever I'm in trouble, I'll come to hear the Sunday session, and the same problem, I'll get the answers. So last time it was overthinking session, and this time it was I am enough. The moment I entered, although I came a little late, but then I was actually getting the answers. I was suffering through this last week. So I feel I don't know, I'm so grateful for this place, first of all. And at the same time, all your experience, even every word, I was relating it. It's so powerful, it's so meaningful in today's life. I don't know, I was thinking through that it is just me who is struggling through it. But then when I saw that you being in a powerful position and getting through all this means I am something in the right path, and then something universe is sending their angels through my way. So I'm very, very grateful for you, and I think there are no questions. It was just wonderful, amazing, and
you really need to remember you're not alone. Yeah. It's not just you facing issues, facing problems. All of us do. I'm exactly the same person as you are, just working in a different position. So I go through the same struggles that you do. I go through the same happiness, same sadness that you do. All of us do, right? All of us just try to come above that. Because that survival instinct is very, very strong, right? We have to come above that situation and do. And when you know that, coming to this place really helps you and it gives you answers, now you do not need to question that. This is something you have observed in your life. Use this. Every time you're in a difficult situation, come here, get your answers, and overcome your situation and move ahead, right? You don't need to question your beliefs. Whatever your beliefs are, they're strong and they will guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, I actually feel that this place is like Gita of my life. There is a saying ki when you open the page of any Gita, you'll whatever, like each page will, according to the situation, you will have different answers of this. Similarly, I feel this place is Gita for myself. So yeah, and I'll actually go through your recording again because it was that wonderful.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for this very helpful and wonderful speech. What you said is quite relatable. We all learn all these things very hard way in our life. But like you said, through your experiences and all you learned, and you're still learning, and every one of us are learning. So, what is that one thing you feel that while growing up, if you knew this thing, it would have been different for you? Maybe growing up during your teens.
I wish I had listened more to my parents.
What exactly?
I could have saved myself a lot of trouble if I had just listened to them, what they were saying. Because especially when we are teens and when we are growing up, we have such, that sense of independence is so strong and so powerful. And especially, I don't know for what reason, but at that age, we always believe our friends and our peers much more than our parents. I don't know why that happens, where it comes from, but it's there. And it was yesterday, it is today, it will be there tomorrow also. So, because I realized, once I grew up, I became a little mature, I realized I wrote down about all the situations where I had listened to my parents, where I had not listened to my parents. So I knew. So I think even my parents will now say that, now she listens to us more than what she used to earlier. Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing, to make your choices always, always. Never let somebody else be responsible for the choices you're making.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Just when you started the session, you have started one situation like we should be start our life by not do the things without hurting the others. And can you elaborate?
Love yourself without hurting others, and love others without hurting yourself. We tend to spread ourselves thin by trying to do a lot for others. For example, especially when you think of mothers. Mothers especially will do this. They will spread themselves thin. They will think about themselves the last or maybe never. And they will always think about the person in front, all the other family members, the relatives and everything. What that does is it depletes you, right? And the love that you give, you keep on giving, it exhausts you, and it, as I said, it depletes you. So to prevent that situation, to ensure that it's always sustainable, understand when you are tired. And it's okay to say that, I'm exhausted, I won't be able to deal with this, I will help you tomorrow. So a lot of my friends used to say sometimes, I needed you at this time, you were not there. I needed you this time, you were not there. So I realized that, I think I'm a decent person. I will be there for you when you need me. I might not be there for you when you want me. So I tried to translate this situation, and I understood this about myself, that if I really feel somebody really needs me, I will be there. Just because somebody wants me, I won't be able to be there. Earlier, what was I doing? I was being there for everybody whenever they wanted me. That way, I was depleting myself. I was loving them by hurting myself. So I set up that boundary. I'll be there when you need me, not when you want me. So that way I can protect because I have to protect myself.
Yes.
If I'm not there, I won't be of help to anyone, right? That's it. You cannot overcome negativity. A negative mindset, they are basically negative thoughts, right? They will be there. They might be, you need to identify where that is coming from. What I personally do is I write. I write a lot. I will keep on writing for an hour, for 2 hours, until I understand exactly what is wrong here. Why am I upset? I might think I'm upset because of A, but By the time I end my writing, I will know I'm upset because of B. So first step is identifying what is upsetting you. Second thing is understanding, can you do anything about it? Is it in your control? Can you change it? Can you, do anything about it? Whether it's in your power. If the answer is yes, make all efforts to do that. Exert your power, exercise your power. If the answer is no, then that situation is something which you have to accept. Once you accept, then it will not bring negative thoughts in your head anymore. But it will take time. So you have to be patient with yourself. Also, it will not happen in a day. Today, you might be able to write it down. Tomorrow, you'll be able to identify. Third day, fourth day, then you'll be able to understand, okay, no matter how hard I try, this situation is not in my control. So I can't do anything about it. Change what you can and accept what you can't change. That will help.
Hi, ma'am. First of all, namaste. This is Gopal. I have one question since my childhood onwards. I just started from second class onwards. So I always have one quotation myself, like love all, serve all. But sometimes it will be hard to me. I want to love people, but they hurting me always. Because I study in the orphanage school, so they have have a good spiritual talks in my childhood onwards only. Like almost you can be say from second to sixth, I have a good basic foundation which is good to me. But when I grow up and looking around my friends and family, even though my close relatives also, they're not a good with me actually sometimes. But I have inner have a good love only. But some they are hurting me, so I just do some angerness or so do some most violence also.
When you understand that they're not doing good to you, when they're not being fair to you, if you can change that, good. Otherwise, move away from that situation. Because if you do something in anger, the words you speak in anger, the actions you do in anger, you can never take them back. And they ruin the relationships. So if the person is important, if that relationship is something you want to salvage, move away from the situation, especially when you're in anger. The moment, because you will realize when you're feeling the anger growing up inside you. Do not speak anything. The words uttered in anger are like, arrows shot out of a bow. You cannot bring them back. So in those situations, just take a step back, right? You don't have to be there and continue to convince them to do good by you. Second thing is, please understand you cannot control their action. Third is, if they are doing bad by you, they are not necessarily a bad person. They might have had a bad day. Give the benefit of doubt. Giving this benefit of doubt keeps the image of that person positive in your life. And you don't gain anything by having negative images of people in your head. And understand to cut out people from your life. Be very calculated, So here I will say be selfish. Be very calculated. Have people in your life who serve you. Either they increase your happiness or they give you joy, they make you laugh, they help you intellectually, they help you professionally. Something positive. Make a list today of all the people in your life. If they are not doing any of these things, they are not exactly serving you, right? So it's not a situation that you want to be in for long. So you can stop investing your energy actively. You can be there whenever they need you, but understand that they will not be in a position to help you because you've already made that calculation. So whatever you give, you should not be expecting anything. You can expect something only when you know that yes, this person is giving something to my life. Happiness, joy, laughter, intellectually, professionally. Then it's okay to have expectation because you know that person is also giving you something. When that person is not giving you anything, give only when you know that you do not expect it back from them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Madam, it was so nice to hear beautiful wisdom points showering from your beautiful journey. You had shared beautiful experience how your parenting was done. probably there could be some challenges the way you had reached at this moment. So if you're comfortable, you can share some of your life experiences, life stories, how you felt. Just one example you shared it about the IPS training. So our audience would like to hear more of your practical stories and the learnings from them. That was my first question. The second question also.
Great. So I'll tell you all about my failures. Very interesting stories. So first was, I think I'll call that my first major failure is when I did not get into the college that I wanted, when I did not clear the exam. So because I was studying law, I wanted to get into law. IELT is one CLAT is one exam, IELT is another exam for a college called NLU Delhi. And I really wanted to go into that college. I wrote the exam, I missed by 1 mark. Now, throughout my class 12th, I was working very hard, studying for 10 hours a day for my class 12th boards also and for this exam also. And when I missed by 1 mark, that was a tragic, tragic situation. I still remember I was so angry, so agitated. I ran up to the terrace and I just wanted to be alone. My brother came running because he thought, is she mad? What is she going to do? And I screamed at him, I'm not going to jump or do anything, okay? And then he just sat there. He just sat there for an hour with me. Then I became okay and I went down. And I remember I sent at least 20, 30 mails to the registrar of NLU Delhi, the then registrar, to kindly consider my case. I missed out by only 1 mark, but nothing happened, right? So then again, I took the exam the second time and then I got in. So disappointments are always there. This was my first one. Second one was, again, when I was attempting this exam of UPSC. The exam is divided into 3 parts: prelims, mains, and interview. So in the prelims, again, there are 2 exams. One is your GS, second is CSAT. CSAT is supposed to be qualifying in nature, and CSAT has maths and logical reasoning. So again, maths is something I was always terrified of. I did not like it. I could score in it, but I did not like it. So in that exam, the first attempt that I took, which was right after my college, I cleared GS, and the qualifying paper, which was supposed to be so easy, I lost out on that. So that entire year gone waste. Now I had to wait for another year to appear for the exam again. Again, that was something that really broke me. But all I knew was, I'm not giving up, I have decided, and I am going to go for it again, the second attempt. Fortunately, second attempt, I was able to go through. Now, when I was writing the exam, nobody told me what I could expect after I had cleared the exam. I did not know what IPS was. I had no idea what the training was like. I was somebody who had not even run 100 meters. Okay, never. Only I was not at all an athletic person. I could study. I was a decent student. That's all I could. Here in the academy, the day would start from 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, and it would end by 6:45. Now, 4:45 in the morning, getting up when even the sun is not up and running for 10 kilometers, I had fractures. I was in the hospital, missed 10 days. And again, I had to compensate for those classes. So for 6 months, I had no weekends, because weekends when people were recuperating and relaxing, I was covering my other classes, which I had missed when I was in hospital. Again, that was a very difficult journey. After that, we had another training of greyhounds. Now, the greyhounds training was something that the day would start on Monday, 4:45, and the day would end on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. We had no idea where the 6 days went at all, because you would come exhausted to the room by 12 o'clock. Again, 4 o'clock, you have to wake up. Whether you were sleeping or staying awake, no idea. So again, that was something extremely, extremely difficult. But what that did was made me mentally strong. Now, when I say mentally strong, it does not mean I don't have issues today. I also deal with a lot of troubles, lot of issues. It just means that once I am done feeling bad about the situation, I can quickly understand, quickly analyze, and take actions to remove myself from that negative mindset into a positive one. Because I've gone through that training and it has trained me to be mentally strong. So these were my failures and difficult things, because it does not come easy. As I said, either you can choose an easy life or you can choose a great character. So that is the choice I made. Difficult choices, but I'm proud of where it has gotten me. You must enjoy the work that you're doing. Then you wouldn't need inspiration to get up from your bed every morning. When I do the work that I'm doing, every day is extremely different. And I know every day I'll face challenges, but I get up and I want to go to work because I know I will have a chance to at least help one person. And that is something I really, really want to do. When you enjoy the work you're doing, you don't need inspiration, right?
Thank you, ma'am, for the inspiring words. We had a question, given your profession, right? Sometimes you also end up doing very good deeds, but still criticism comes your way.
Exactly.
So how do you think we should be dealing with that?
Be detached from the response your actions are going to get. If you believe something that you're doing right, you have followed all the procedures and did your best and you were sincere, honest about it, even if you're being criticized about it, the criticism will not last long, right? It will be there today, and the public memory is very, how do you say it? It has a very short span. They will criticize you today, tomorrow, day after. They will not criticize you after a month. They would have forgotten about it after a month. But you would know that what you did was right. You had followed all the procedures and everything, and it will reward you. Your good work your karma always comes back. If you do not have negative intentions for somebody, nothing bad will happen to you. If something bad is happening, believe me, 5 years later, you will realize that was something good that happened because you learned so much from that situation. So
Ma'am, I have two questions. First one is any important, books or movies or anything that inspired you or influenced you positively and productively. And the second question is, how do you build community trust in high crime areas? It is related to your work life.
if you talk about books, there are two books which have really inspired me. I'm not sure whether how all of you would respond to it. First is the Harry Potter series. Okay, now that is something I grew up with. That book is what taught me about friendship, importance of relationships, love, and that's the book that got me into UPSC actually. Because in my interview for 5 minutes, I spoke about that book, and because I loved it so much, it showed on, and I was sincere and honest about it. That is what UPSC wants. It wants honest people who know the person they are and who know how to use it as their strength, right? Second book is The Secret, Law of Attraction. Now that book I had read when I was in class 10th. I later read it again when I was in my college. Again, I read it when I was in the service. Now, when I read it in class 10th, I understood maybe 5% of it, 10% of it. In college, I understood maybe 50% of it. In my profession, again, maybe I understood 70% of it. But whatever I understood, I can keep forgetting, and I need reminders. So I set up a system so that whatever good things I like about that book, I can keep remembering when I'm in a difficult situation. The second question that you asked about, and see, now these are two books which are really important to me spiritually, but if you ask me, I am an avid reader. I read about maybe like at least 2 to 3 books every month, minimum, I'll try. So, and I read from different genres, autobiographies, history, business, economics, anything, right? Currently, a great book that I'm reading is called Accelerating India's Growth. Now, it's a 900-page book, so be patient when you read it, but it's extremely good. When you talk about building community trust, you have to understand it will take a lot of time, and especially in areas because you are new. If I've gone to a place, I'm new. The people are old. The systems, the tradition, the culture, the problems they are facing, they are old. So whatever difference I try to make right now, the results will not show immediately. The results may show after I've left that place, and I need time to make meaningful interventions, right? And I need to first, the practical thing would be to identify the people, leaders from that community, from that society, who the other people listen to, and understand what their problems are. If you're a good listener, half of the problems you're facing will be solved. Because that's what people want. They want somebody to at least listen to and understand their problems. They also know every problem of theirs may not have a solution, and the person they are dealing with might not have a solution to them, but they want to be heard. So that is what I focus on. I listen to them. understand their problems, and try to help and bring about solutions. Even if you resolve one or two issues, that will help in generating trust, because then they will know that this officer wants to do good by us. So if she is guiding, if she is telling us to do something in a situation, she is coming from a place of positive intention and the correct thing. So that's how the trust gets built. But it takes time and you need to have patience. And there'll be a lot of setbacks. You have to be ready for setbacks and deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so like at times, probably in this journey of social media, where a lot of things are there on internet, and especially at our generation, like keeps on seeing this, and then okay, this is best, like because we are seeing the best version of everybody, and then we easily gets fascinated without seeing the journey of that person, like how he has accomplished. Now the comparison part is, I guess, a lot of people has like conquered, but sometimes the difficulty comes between the choices, like what do you want to do, this or that, do that, because sometimes at times I feel this apple is also good and mango is also good, and that's the confusion in career also, right? So like I actually take the opinions of many people and then sit with myself and make the choices, but at times still it gets something, I feel like okay, I missed something, maybe I was at A place, I missed the B place, and then I tell me, okay, anyway you'll lose something if you are like that is always there, right? You can't have best of both the worlds. But then still, like, and then this questions basically, like I want to ask, like, how did you deal with like maybe you are good at 10 things, and then probably you want to have all 10 things maybe at this stage, but later you will find, okay, maybe A is better, B is better. How did you navigate through this path?
Two things I will tell you. So, the social media part that you're telling, that's why I'm off social media. It's too time consuming, it's not helping me in anything. So I stopped using Instagram like 3 years ago, and I'm extremely happy with my life. I do not want to know what my friends are doing, who's going where, what they're eating, and I don't want to tell them. The people who are close to me, important to me, I will tell them when I'm talking to them or when I'm meeting them. I don't want to know what's happening with everybody else's life. That's too much information and I don't have time for it. As simple as that, right? That's number one. And your social media is basically a highlight of all the good things of your life. Nobody posts, actually these days now they've started posting, I think, negative things also, and they want to be genuine and this and that. My thing is cut the clutter out. If I need this right now in my life, I will use it. If I don't, I will not pay attention to it. Second thing is, when you're talking about making choices, right? Apples and oranges, you like both. How do you have them? Now, I know I want 10 things in life, but maybe it's not the right time for all those 10 things right now. Maybe the correct time right now is for those maybe 4 or 5 things. The other things, the correct time will be later. Second is, I need to understand whether all those 10 things are going to help me be the person that I want to be. The kind of person I want to see, I want everybody else to see me as. And the third is whether it will involve sacrificing any of my principles that I believe in. You use these criterias, you'll be able to eliminate at least 5 out of those 10 things, right? And you need to understand, you need to have patience. Your life is not today. Your life is a very long journey and a short journey at the same time, right? From different perspectives. So today might be a right thing for something. 5 years down the line might be the right thing for something. And the only thing is, why do, these choices keep coming back to you? We keep thinking, what if we had chosen that? What if we had chosen that? That would have been a good life. What if I had done this, done that? You're doing that because you're not confident about your choice. Now, once you're confident about your choice, you do not question your choice. And it does not help in questioning your choice. It's only making you anxious. It's not adding any positivity to your life. So be very careful when you're making the choice, but once you've made it, learn to stick with it. That is the courage that you need. And that will help you be happy with the choices you've made. Right? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. One question I have
To not quit. That is something. I was always a very, very stubborn child. And I have said this in my placement interview. I have said this to myself in my most difficult situations. It might be a horrible thing that I'm facing, but what do I do? Do I quit? No. Then what is the other option? Survive it. Use all the resources I have to go through that situation and survive. I will not quit. That's it. Any? How will that help you? Sorry? Do you want to become a police officer? Then it will not help you. Storytelling. I mean, there are a lot of criminal. I'm sorry, I will not be able to answer that question because, a lot of cases will be there, some may be complicated. And honestly, now that I'm here, I'm not thinking about my work. Right? Expectation. So, when I talk about these three things, attachment, ego, expectation, I believe whatever problems I have faced have always come out of these three only. Why will I be upset? I will be upset when something I expected did not happen. I will be upset when my ego has been hurt. Hmm. So, exactly what I said, right? Now, very trivial thing, but in my service, when something happened and I had grown up seeing that you have to be addressed as sir or ma'am, and you have to address others as sir or ma'am depending on their seniority. When that was not happening with me, I first became very anxious that, am I not being given the protocol that I deserve? What is wrong? What is happening? Why are people not, doing that? Then I realized this is coming out of my ego. Just because I'm in a position, I expect to be dealt with, behaved with in a certain way. And when that is not happening, it is causing me distress. So I learned that this is the root cause of my problem, remove it. Okay, you're an officer, but you have to see people as people and learn to treat everybody as your team. And when I did that, actually my team started giving their best and I got the best results out of everybody. Okay. I think that will be all from my side. Just one last question. Hmm. Correct, correct. Yeah. So for me, the thing was, see, again, my parents always guided me that do not, because UPSC is a very tricky thing. A lot of luck is involved in this procedure. So my parents always told me one thing, you always have a plan B, something to fall back on. Because no matter how hard you're working, if the stars are not right, maybe you will not get selected. What will you do in that situation? So that's why I made sure that my CV was good. If my second attempt did not work out, had not worked out, I would have, because I had a good CV, I was confident about that, I would have gone to applied for any other law firm. Maybe I would not have gotten the salary which I was getting earlier in 2015, but I would have had to start a little bit less. But because I know I'm a hardworking person and I know I'm smart enough, I would have gotten up back to that position. So again, here my parents' guidance counted because they told me to have a plan B. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Not really. So now, had I been a lawyer, say I was working in a law firm, I always really wanted to give back. I would have found out different methods, different ways to finally give back. Where your profession will constrain you only up to a limit. Beyond that, if you really want to do something, you will find a way. That's it. है ना? Okay. So, thank you so much, everybody. I hope all of you will gain something and will learn something from this. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Such a beautiful journey we were hearing. Yes, you all like it? You all taken lots of inspiration from her? Yes. So we want to see her more and more. So that was so philosophical, though she is, means age-wise, physical, biological age is very small, but she was talking so philosophically when she spoke about ego, attachment, and expectations, external validations. So deep, profound things she was talking. Yes? Yes, I'm going to acknowledge them actually. Yeah. So, so profound, so deep things you were talking, and all the answers from that core you were giving. It's not superficial answers, but how to go within, and then from that core, you get the answers, then that will stay longer. Otherwise, if superficial or shortcuts, if we take in our life, that will not stay longer. So that is what the message which we had taken. So thank you for that beautiful sharing, and thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. When you said you are not thinking about your work, you are fully present here. That is also takeaway message. When you are there, when you are in one place, be fully there. Right? So now I request Rajyogini Kuldeep Didi ji, Brahma Kumari Kuldeep Didi ji also to be on stage, and bless Ritiraj ma'am also. So you have met her, yes, a couple of times you met her in the president's program also. So Didi said she would like to come and specially bless you because, as you said, luck plays a big role in our life, and the blessings also play a big role in everyone's life. है ना? जो हम लिया है बड़ों से या साथियों से जो ब्लेसिंग्स लेते हैं वो हमको बहुत आगे ले जाएंगे. तो आज दीदी खास आए हैं यहाँ पर मैम को ब्लेस करने के लिए, और साथ साथ उनके मम्मी पापा पे आए हैं. मैं बुलाने वाली हूँ आपको भी स्टेज पर, तो सभी को ब्लेस करने के लिए स्पेशली दीदी आ रहे हैं. तो लेट्स वेलकम दीदी ऑल्सो. सो आफ्टर ए लॉन्ग टाइम, मे बी फर्स्ट टाइम शी इज़ कमिंग इन द न्यू ईयर्स this Sunday evening talk. She is coming first time in the new year also. So I request Kuldeep Didi also. So she had taken special time because whole day we had so many events, and but still she was very eager to meet her and greet and bless her. So
ओम शांति. आप सबको हैप्पी न्यू ईयर. तो आज हमने बहुत कुछ सीखा है ऋतिराज बहन से. छोटी आयु में आपने कितने चैलेंजेस पास किए. कोई भी व्यक्ति कुछ भी हासिल करना चाहता है तो उसको बहुत सी परिस्थितियों का सामना करना पड़ता है. तो हम मेडिटेशन में भी यही प्रयास करते हैं, अपनी सेल्फ स्टेज को पहले पावरफुल बनाना है. जितना सोल पावरफुल होगी तो ये परिस्थितियां जो हैं वो वीक हो जाएंगी. आप शक्तिशाली होंगे तो परिस्थितियाँ कमज़ोर हो जाएंगी। अगर आप कमज़ोर हो गए तो परिस्थितियाँ शक्तिशाली हो जाएंगी और आपके ऊपर हावी हो जाएंगी, आप घबरा जाएंगे। तो डेली मेडिटेशन करने से हम अपना स्थिति को, है ना, अपना जो स्टेज है उसको जितना ऊंचा ले जाना चाहें जा सकते हैं। तो जो ऊंचाई पर जाता है उसको नीचे की बातें कैसी लगती हैं, नीचे का सीन। आप हाइट पर हैं तो आप नीचे देखेंगे तो सब कुछ कैसा लगता है, बड़ा लगता है, छोटा, सब छोटा छोटा लगता है ना। आप किसी भी जगह पर, चाहे आप फ्लाइट में जा रहे हैं तो धीरे 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 सिटी भी अदृश्य हो जाता है, कुछ भी नहीं, बादलों के बीच में है। तो मेडिटेशन में भी हमारी स्टेज को जब हम ऐसे एलिवेट करते हैं, वो एलिवेटेड स्टेज पर आने के बाद हमें लगता है हम एंजल्स हैं, उड़ रहे हैं और ये परिस्थितियाँ कुछ भी नहीं है, दिखती ही नहीं है। छोटी तो दिखती है, फिर भी जब हम प्लेन जब टेक ऑफ करता है तब तो चीज़ें छोटी छोटी होती जाती जैसे जैसे हम ऊपर बढ़ते जाते, लेकिन ऊंची स्थिति पर जाने के बाद कुछ भी दिखाई नहीं देता है। और हम इस दुनिया की आवाज़ों से, दुनिया की नज़रों से भी ऊपर, किसी की नज़र भी नहीं है हमारे ऊपर, पर सबकी नज़र किधर रहती है, ऊपर वाले की तरफ, कि हमें सेफ्टी से ले जाना। क्योंकि भरोसा नहीं है ना आजकल, फ्लाइट्स कब क्रैश हो जाती है ना, और कब क्या होने वाला है कुछ भी मालूम नहीं होता है। तो ये भी एक खेल है, ड्रामा है, इसको साक्षी होकर देखना है। कभी भी कोई व्यक्ति ऐसा नहीं है हमेशा वो बुरा होता है, कभी कभी किसी के अंदर एंगर आ जाता है, वो कुछ ऐसा एक्टिविटी कर भी लेता है, किसी को दोष भी दे देगा, मार भी देगा, लेकिन कभी उसको रियलाइजेशन जब आ जाती है तो वो सोचता है मैंने बहुत बुरा किया है, मुझे कुछ अच्छा करना चाहिए अभी। तो इसलिए कभी भी हम हमेशा कहते सभी को समदृष्टि, माना आत्मिक दृष्टि से देखने का अभ्यास कीजिए। आत्मा बहुत प्योर है, लेकिन आत्मा के ऊपर जो 5 विकारों का आवरण चढ़ गया है, उससे क्या होता है, हमारी एक्टिविटी में कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ होती है, हमारा पार्ट चेंज हो जाता है और हम हीरो के बजाय उस समय विलन का काम करना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो इसलिए परमात्मा कहते मेरे साथ जब आप जुड़े रहते हैं सुरक्षित रहते हैं, और आप उसको, बुरे को बुराई के रूप में नहीं देखो, है ना, कि ये बुरा है। इंग्लिश में बोलते हेट द सिन बट नॉट द सिनर। बुरे व्यक्ति से मत आप नफरत करो, उसकी बुराई से, जो उसकी, डॉक्टर भी बीमारी को देखता है, बीमारी को हटाता है, ऐसे नहीं पेशेंट कोई उड़ा दे, है ना। कई लोग डॉक्टरों से पूछते हैं आप कितने पेशेंट को मार करके डॉक्टर बने हैं तो इसलिए तो हम बीमार हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि बीमार को उड़ा दो लेकिन बीमारी को उड़ा दो। हम ऐसे ही बोलते हैं ना डॉक्टर को कि मेरी बीमारी को ठीक कर दो, अर्थात उसको निकाल दो, मुझे इस शरीर से निकाल दो, ऐसा तो नहीं बोलते हैं। तो इस तरह से परिस्थितियाँ कुछ भी नहीं हैं। परिस्थिति माना जो दूसरे से आती है, स्वस्थिति माना जो मेरी खुद की है। तो खुद की स्थिति को हम खुद ही खराब करते हैं। तो इसलिए जो व्यक्ति गलती करता है उसको नहीं देखना, क्योंकि वो गलती उसकी बीमारी है, उस बीमारी को क्योर करना। हम हमेशा अच्छी दृष्टि से गुड विशेस देते हैं, तो अभी अभी हमारे सामने एक भाई जो कभी रियलाइज़ नहीं किया, लेकिन मुझे बोला, दीदी आप मुझे अब जो कहें मैं करूँगा, मेडिटेशन भी करूँगा, आपकी तरह सात्विक भोजन भी खाऊँगा, डेली मेडिटेशन भी करूँगा। पहले मैं दूसरों को बुरा बोलता था, मैं वाइफ को ब्लेम करता था, पेरेंट्स को ब्लेम करता था, भाई बहनों को ब्लेम करता था, लेकिन अब मुझे रियलाइज़ हुआ सबसे गलत मैं हूँ। तो मनुष्य का परिवर्तन कब होता है? जब वो रियलाइजेशन करता है कि मेरे अंदर जो बुराई है उसको मुझे ठीक करना है, निकालना है, हमेशा के लिए उसको समाप्त करना है। अगर कोई आपको कहीं एडवर्टाइजमेंट दिखता है कि बिना शुल्क के आपकी हर बीमारी ठीक कर देंगे, फ्री, भाग के जाएंगे ना फ्री में और सारी बीमारियां ख़त्म हो जाएं। तो यहाँ मेडिटेशन से आप अपने मन को ठीक कर लेंगे तो मन ठीक तो तन भी, मन दुरुस्त तो तन तंदुरुस्त रहेगा। तो आप सभी को बहुत बधाई। मैडम को तो बहुत बहुत हम बधाई देंगे कि वो इतनी छोटी आयु में बहुत कुछ उन्होंने परिस्थितियों से सीखा है और बहुत आगे बढ़ेंगे। हमारी ये अंदर की गुड विशेस है उनके लिए कि आप जहाँ कदम रखेंगे उन्नति के शिखर पर आप पहुँच जाएंगे। भगवान आपको बहुत ऊंची स्टेज पर लेकर जाएंगे। ओम शांति।
Thank you very much, Didi. Now I would like to request Ritiraj ma'am's mother and father also onto the stage so that everyone will see you, and your daughter is excellent. Your daughter is so much making difference in the society, in the world. So as she mentioned many times, पिताजी ने या माताजी ने बहुत सारे मीन्स ऑप्शंस दिए हैं लेकिन फुल फ्रीडम दिया है। तो ऐसे माता पिता है जो शी इज गेटिंग इमोशनल। या माता पिता धन्य है, दीदी बोल रहे माता पिता भी धन्य है, ऐसी बेटी को जन्म दिया है। हाँ, जहाँ पर सोचते हैं बेटी क्यों पैदा हुई है, लेकिन ऐसी बेटी को पैदा किया है और बेटी आपको भी बहुत नाज है पूरे सभी के लिए। हाँ जी, तो आप भी एक बार हेलो करना चाहते हैं?
हेलो एवरीबॉडी, बस मैं ऋतिराज की मम्मा हूँ। नीलम सिन्हा मेरा नाम है। बस
Ritiraj has told all the things which I could guide in her life to bring the changes and to satisfy his wishes. I try my best and she has explained all the things. And now we are proud of you. We are proud of her. We both parents are enjoying and seeing the successes she has achieved as yet, and hope that with all your good wishes she will go up to higher in future.
और मैं बोलना चाहूँगी, मेरी बेटी ना शुरू से बहुत लेबोरियस एंड बहुत अच्छी रही है। ये तो मैं कहूँगी, कभी किसी से कुछ कभी किसी को जरा सा भी परेशान नहीं करना, कभी नहीं, बचपन से बहुत अच्छी रही है। स्कूल में भी कहीं कभी इसका कोई कंप्लेन नहीं रहा, कुछ भी नहीं। और आज भी ये सही बिल्कुल बोली, ये अपने को हर्ट करके सबके लिए करती है। अभी मैंने बताया। हाँ, ये करती है, ये अपने लाइफ में ये काम करती है। ये बहुत कुछ सीखी है अब, और मैं यही सब इसे मैंने बचपन से इसे सब गाइड किया था, ज़रूर हेल्प करो, हमेशा हेल्प करो, बट थोड़ा अपना ख्याल रखते हुए, बस। मेनी मेनी थैंक्स।
थैंक यू मम्मी एंड पापा ऑल्सो, बहुत अच्छा। आप तो उनके ही नहीं है, सभी के मम्मी पापा है इधर, बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स हैं जो सभी चाहते हैं ऐसे मम्मी पापा हो जो इतना फ्रीडम भी देवे और राइट गाइडेंस भी देवे, दोनों बैलेंस हो, जो आपने मेंटेन किया है और वही उनको सिखाया है। बहुत 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 आप आए, बहुत धन्यवाद, क्योंकि आप हैदराबाद आए हैं तो उन्होंने पहले भी बताया मुझे लेके आना है मम्मी पापा को इधर, तो ये टॉक में आपको लेके आना भी हुआ और इस कारण सभी ने देखा आपको भी, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा। थैंक यू। आप वैसे पटना में रहते हैं, तो पटना में रहते हैं, अभी विजिट के लिए आए हैं तो आज यहाँ पर पधारे हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट Didi to felicitate Ritiraj ma'am. I also request Vamshi bhai also to be present on the stage, and Didi will felicitate, Vamshi bhai also felicitate. माता जी पिताजी को भी दीदी लक्ष्मी नारायण के फ्रेम से, आप लक्ष्मी नारायण है, ऐसे ही आप रहना है और ऐसे ही समाज को भी बनाना है, तो उसी दीदी की शुभ इच्छा है आपके प्रति भी, प्रसाद है। तो सभी बैठे रहेंगे, 2 मिनट हम मेडिटेशन करेंगे, एंड विथ मेडिटेशन प्लीज। या जैसे बहुतों को मालूम होगा, जनवरी मास बहुत स्पेशल मास है ब्रह्मा कुमारीज में। द फाउंडर फादर प्रजापिता ब्रह्मा लेफ्ट दिस मॉर्टल कॉइल in the month of January in 1969, January 18th. So that will be next Sunday. So that is very auspicious time, auspicious day in Brahma Kumaris. So we have so much of memories of Brahma Baba, Prajapita Brahma. And next week we have a special telecast of Brahma Baba's history. That's in a movie form, Brahma Baba's life story, which will be telecasting in the same place. So that will be called as Bhagya Vidhata. The movie called Bhagya Vidhata, how he is Bhagya Vidhata for everyone, for the whole world, how he did so much of service, how he become from a diamond merchant to a person who brought God on this earth in his own body. So the whole story will be there. So that will be beautiful movie. So that will be telecasted on next Sunday. And then we will have 4 dhams where Brahma Baba lived and spent much time, the Karma Bhumi of Brahma Baba in Mount Abu, Rajasthan, in the headquarters. The replica is made here also. So that also you will have darshan of all those 4 places also. So we request all of you to come on next Sunday also, 18th January, to have the screening of ब्रह्मा बाबा's लाइफ हिस्ट्री भाग्य विधाता। सो 1 मिनट हम मेडिटेशन से समाप्त करेंगे। ओम शांति।